Hi, everyone of the sign of Cancer. This is Zaida Velgara from Becoming I Am here with your astrological reading for February 2026. I hope you enjoy the message and thank you for everyone and that subscribes, leaves me comments. I love reading them. Just for the newcomers, I like to start off with astrology because literally that's the energy that's influencing us during the month. I usually pick 4 big events that are happening during the month so that you are aware how it's going to influence you using Oracle. And in the end, I do some tarot. I hope you enjoy. So starting off, we're going to talk about this big shift that starts on the 13th of February, which is Saturn entering the sign of Aries. It shall be there for about 2 years until April 12th, 2028. And this is discipline, excuse me, discipline, structure, and stick to itiveness linked to the emperor energy of knowing who to connect to, how to connect to them, what things are your responsibility and what's not, and taking control of your life. One of the things that I can tell you, Cancer, is that speaking is going to be really big for you in February. I can tell you that I didn't have to cough before. Um, until I started this reading. So I am feeling like a restriction in your throat chakra that is going to be activated to clear out with this energy. So let's see, using Legendary Ladies Oracle deck of what's going to happen with this, okay? Hold on. I only wanted one, but the 4 of them flew out together, and they are really sticky with each other. It's like they're really sticky all of a sudden. The first one is Aditi with creation. The second one that's interesting because we have Sagittarius, Libra, Capricorn, and Pisces, and your Cancer symbols around her head. So strongly influencing you in February will be a Sagittarius, Libra, Pisces, and Capricorn. And this can be actual people that have the sign, or this can be where the astrology is being very targeted, like moons or different events that fall through those energies. The next second one is Lakshmi with abundance. This is really interesting, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. We have Tara with protection. And we have Sedna with cleansing. You see how my throat is? I wanted to show you this because the first 3 that come out, first of all, they're very, it's like Hindu in the belief system. But secondly, do you see how all of them have lotus flowers? This is talking about some kind of ascension or something that's happening in your energy field in February. I feel like it's an awakening. I feel it has to do with your speech, and I feel it has to do with something that was a really deep-seated emotion. Water for me is something about your spirit and your intuition, and it's linked to your emotions. So what I'm seeing is a cleansing of something in your emotions, making you feel better about yourself so you can actually talk more. Like confident is big on here. You are grounded, which is keeping you protected. I feel very much grounded energy here. So it's like you have a plan, you have an idea, you're very structured, and that's going to help you move forward in this. But it is something that's going to bring you a wealth of abundance. And I do see some monetary, but it feels more self worth. I know that sounds crazy. It's more like an abundance of self love, an abundance of self respect. It's more about you and the way you see yourself, where it's gonna be bigger, like more abundant. You're gonna feel better about the all that is you, which then creates abundance in other parts. Because I think it always starts in the self, because even if you get offers or things like that, if you don't think you're deserving, it it won't move forward. Okay, so that's all that. The second thing that we're going to be looking to is the solar eclipse in the sign of Aquarius on the 17th. The thing is that happens in the other hemisphere, so we here in I live in central United States. We will absolutely not see any of it. But that doesn't mean that the magnetic field is not going to be affected, because if the sun and the moon, which is the closest things to us, are united, they are going to pull on the magnetic field of planet Earth, and that will influence us. That same day, we have the new moon in Aquarius. So both things are happening in Aquarius, and this feels like a shift of perspective, of shifts of self. Something is eclipsing out, and it's like, because it's after the eclipse, it's kind of like this energy of the new moon in that same sign. It feels very, very much like this energy of something phasing out, and something new that you didn't even know was present in you will be coming apparent. I do also have to tell you that this is really interesting from this year. I noticed that we started in like a full moon in Cancer this year, and in December we're gonna end in a full moon. I mean, a new moon in Cancer again. This is really important for you specifically, but a lot with our fundamental groups and belief systems. There is a where the entire year feels like moving through a portal, and the decisions you made to keep something or let something go, and in your case, your sense of identity and a sense of self that you're letting go of and bringing something else in. I think it's going to be really big in kind of structuring how these next 9 years are going to be. It's more about not so much the things you have to do to make something happen, but the belief that you have in yourself that is going to create the change. It seems really centered. I don't know why we had to talk about that, but I feel like really big to tell you that. It's like, because you see yourself different, the world then is starting to shift. And this entire year is like you shifting into this new world, because you know who you are now, or you've established a new reality for yourself, like a new sense of self. So the 17th, this is interesting. Look at this. We have protection quite again, and we have answers. That reminds me, the protection reminds me of the world energy, but also like the Empress energy. I have an actual tarot deck, I think the Light Seers Tarot, where the woman is actually pregnant with the planet Earth on her belly, and that's the Empress card. So again, it's talking about a creation, a new start, a new beginning that is strongly protected, but you will get the answers that you're looking for that. Actually, you know what? I want to pull something for the answer. Sorry if this is loud. Look at that. That is quiz and crazy. I only pulled out, there's all kinds of charms in there, and I only pulled out the charms that were tarot. And the first thing that flows out is Pisces with intuition. I told you I saw Pisces before. Then we have Aquarius, which this is the energy of Aquarius. Aquarius comes with the energy of Virgo right on top of it. And the energy of Virgo for me, it's practical changes that are going to change your reality. I would say that the thing that I would like you to focus on when it comes to sense of self and changing who you are, make it baby steps. If you make it baby steps, you're going to make it happen. And that all lines up for you to awaken your inner lion, because the Leo is here. And for me, Leo is the energy of having courage. And something about courage is that you don't need it if you're not scared first. So it is something that you're going to do that you're scared to do, right? So whoever I'm talking to right now, it's a position that you're going into, an identity that you're going to establish, a project that you're going to start, um, something that you're going to do that is really outside your wheel of comfort, but it's going to form a new you. And the answer comes from that, from doing something that was not necessarily in alignment with you in the beginning, and it feels completely like left field. Okay. The next thing that I'm going to look into is February 20th. There is the conjunction between Saturn in Aries and Neptune in Aries. The thing is that they call this the Great Reset or the World Point. The last time this happened was in 1989, and it was in the sign of Sagittarius. But the last time that it happened in Aries, it wasn't like depending on who you're following, it can be about from 2000 to 5000 years ago, right? And what this is kind of like shifting your identity. So because I'm no longer this person, the victim, the shy one, the immigrant, the fill in the blank, the fat one, the pretty one, the dumb one, etc. I'm going to shift everything about myself. I'm going to restructure myself, and I'm going to challenge the norms that I created for myself to be able to push forward. I feel like this, for some strange reason here for my cancers, it feels like self actualization. It's kind of like you're doing a revamp to yourself, your identity, your restructuring. Like whatever it was that you said, I would never do this because this is totally off wall for me. It's not even like me. I think you'll be more willing to try it after this. So I'm gonna see what's going on with that. Everything I say before I pull the cards, it's kind of telling you the spiritual work that you're going to be working through, the ones that are spiritually minded, and the things that are being awakened to you. The cards are just extra. I mean, look at this. Melting masks. I told you, it feels like whatever you were before, the roles you played, the insecurities, yada yada, it was a mask you developed because it made you safe. And now it's coming off. And it says, allow your spirit self to shine through the many roles you fulfill. And then after that, we have responding, not reacting. The only control we have is in how we respond to the hands we are dealt. So this is like one of the things that I'm seeing here is that yes, you can, when you're shifting, things might not go 100% perfect in the beginning. If we let ourselves drown in that, I knew it, I knew this wasn't like for me, I knew this was wrong, blah, 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 whole mess of stuff, we fail. If we say, well, I only knew as much as I knew at that moment. Now I'm starting to know that if I do this, this can be better for me. Or if I adjust over here, this can be better for me. This is a learning process. I've never been this person before, right? You have to keep them in that in mind. The identity that you're forming for yourself is something you've never been before. So it's not like if you're just going to be like, light switch, you're this person. No, you're going to have to do a lot of trial and error. Like Maya Angelou always said, I mean, I really like that poem of hers, and where she says that as you know more, you do more, right? As you know better, you do better. And that's the thing that we have to keep in mind. Okay. And then the next thing is home. May your body beware a harmonious balance of love, strength, light, and pleasure lies. And when I see home, I think of this one right here with Sedna, because what I feel is the energy of purifying yourself finally, because you're starting to become comfortable with the person you're becoming. Okay, it's a new identity and it's different, and it's like you're washing yourself clean from whoever you used to be, uh, and that takes a little bit. Okay, some things are stuck a little stronger than others. The next thing we're going to be looking at, which I think has a lot of influence from this Saturn Neptune energy, is Mercury retrograde. It starts on the 26th of February and it will be in the sign of Pisces. Oh, that's why we kept pulling Pisces. I'm getting it now. I think the entire month is setting you up for this Mercury retrograde. It starts on the 26th and it ends on March 20th. And I feel like um how do we explain it? I would explain it like the role that you used to occupy in people's lives. Um some people become very dependent on that role. You make them feel safe, you make them feel validated, you make them feel seen, or they just feel stronger because you're a yes person and they feel like they're empowered because you are, right? Um, they don't want you to leave, and especially if they're crazy toxic. So this is kind of like a war between you moving into the direction that you want and you staying stuck. If we were thinking about this as a mindset, because remember, this is all about your internal world, it feels very internal, February, for me, for my cancers. It can be like a lot of hiccups and a lot of um, setbacks during this period of time, just to prove to you that you're not what you want to become, so that you can fall back in line in what is normal. And this is when your subconscious mind creates self sabotage for you. And it's like until that subconscious mind comes in alignment with your conscious mind, there will be a tug of war for a little bit. So a lot of the spiritual attacks, or a lot of the negative projections of other people towards you, has more to do with a feeling that you have that you shouldn't do this. And so it feels like setbacks, but they're caused because of an internal war of, should I do this? I just want to pull a couple of cards. I'm hoping 3 for this. The moon. Okay. The first thing that flows out is the moon. The moon for me is confusion. It's, I want you to see this. There is a heart on a stone with a sword through it. That for me tells me that those are disillusionments that you will interpret incorrectly. And then we have female issue. We have guardian angel. We have the two of earths. And we have the Undine and the mermaids. Okay, I'm going to tell you something I recently, like I didn't recently hear this, but sometimes it keeps popping up in my head. Um, there was this lady that I saw on Instagram, and she was saying, you don't have a lack mentality. You have a loyalty problem. And that we are so loyal to our mothers that we will live that lack mentality, right? Right here, the female issue, the guardian angel, both of them makes me feel like loyalty to your mother. So let's say your mother, let it be toxic or let it be positive, right? Used to say, oh, you're going to be this when you grow up. Oh, you're going to be this when you grow up. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're that. And they might have said it in a positive or a negative manner. Each one didn't have the same mother, but you've been your entire life loyal to that identity of the things that you heard while growing up, especially here from the female energy. And when I see the two of earth here of balancing things out, and then I see this energy of the Undine and the mermaid, which goes back to this and goes back to this. I feel like all of, I can't show you the other one because she's nudie. Okay. But all of this is telling me the same exact thing. There is this deep cleansing that's taking place. It's a cleansing of the temple of your body. And in this case, it feels like the temple of your mind. So the war that you're going to be experiencing is, I am not that person. I am not who I was told I was supposed to be. This is not evil. This is not bad. I'm not going to get punished because I'm doing this. You know, there's so many things that kind of flow through my head while I'm hearing this. But it's like releasing that loyalty to that identity that was placed upon you. And this is why the mermaid, because it's going really deep into your subconscious to be able to clear it out. And this is something that I'm feeling a lot with the Saturn in Neptune, because Saturn being the energy of discipline, structure, like I am going to do this because I've decided this, connected with your subconscious, both of them linking together. And you know also that this Saturn is in Aries, where discipline meets that authority figure inside of you. Literally, it feels like this energy of, I am taking ownership of my life, and I'm no longer going to be loyal to my mother, right? Or to that identity that was placed upon me. There's a lot of people that grew up, their mother saying, my kid is going to be, oh, he's so smart. He's going to be a doctor when he grows up. Or my kid, he's so fabulous and such a mathematician. He is whiz that he's going to be a scientist. Or I see him as a lawyer. Or I'm just giving you male because that's just popping into my head. But all these things are popping into my head. And up to now, you have lived a life that was catering to that identity. And right now, you're choosing one where you're catering to an identity that you know that is right for you. And so I don't know why that's what came up when I pulled that. Um, but this is all about removing masks. Like your entire month of February is like literally stripping away the person that everybody said you were to be the person that you know you are, and then fighting the currents that are trying to push you back to the person that you were, knowing that you're something completely different. I'm liking this energy. It feels very much claiming your birthright. This is what it feels like. And that reminds me again of the sword and the stone, which the sword and the stone and the heart are all on here. And it's interesting when I'm looking at this, because as I'm looking at this, like the sword has to pierce the heart to be able, um, it has to release the heart to be able to point itself up to the sky. Because when Arthur pulled the sword from the sword, it's like, my mind will not be of this earth, it will be of the heavens, right? And as I think it, I shall create. I will no longer create based on the norms and the regulations of this world. But the thing it's piercing through before it pierces the world itself is the heart. And I thought it was interesting that that's the energy of female issue, right? And female Eshu is actually not a good card here, because it's like the female version of the devil, as the devil courses through action and through action and through words of deceit. The female energy and material wealth, right? Action and material wealth. The female energy seduces and uses the words. So female devil energy feels more like water and water and air, and the male energy is more like wands and fire. And so in this case, it just really, really feels like the words that were spoken to you made you fall into like this trance of believing that this is the way that you were supposed to be if you're going to be a good person in the world, and you're going to be a successful person in the world. And it's like, this is the thing that kept you stuck in the stone. And it's like pulling it out and pointing it as to your higher self, your higher knowing, and your identity. Hold on. Wow, that made me sneezy. Like clearing your sight. And then in clearing your sight, you're able to clear your throat and identify yourself in the I am that I really am, not the I am that somebody else told me. So anyway, that being said, let's see what else tarot wants to tell you. The Two of Cups starting off everything. You're going to get some kind of contract or agreement, Tower, that's going to break things up for you. Ten of Swords, it's going to really end something big, and you're going to feel more independent and free with a lot more money, you're gonna feel more stable with your money. This February feels very stable in your money. And I see the Nine of Swords in reverse. This is like no longer having to fight with those doubts in your mind about the person that you are. This is going to come very quickly, and it's going to balance out your material world, and you're going to feel stronger, like a new passion for life because of it. Okay, so definitely I'm seeing, because I'm saying removing masks, removing identity, removing whatever, this can strongly be a new position, like a new job, a new position, um, a new identity for yourself. It's something that you never thought that you can be, because you've always thought you were something else based on the words that were told to you while you were growing up, right? And I'm not saying that you should be like, I hate this person for all the things that they used to say about me, blah, 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 tanta cosa. Who cares? It is what it is. You lived the experience and it sucked ass. And then we're going to move on, because I'm not going to give you my power anymore, right? You don't have power over me. Recalling the past constantly and being, it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault, is equivalent of the the movie The Labyrinth. I know that's old, but that she was going through all his puzzles and all his games and whatever, his mind games, right, on her, until she realized, wait, I know who you are and you have no more power over me anymore. And that's what I'm feeling here. Like, you're starting to realize that maybe the I ams that you've been saying your whole life about yourself were more aligned to the I ams that somebody else kept repeating to you as a child. And it's time for you to identify the I am that is you, really. Now we're going to end the whole thing with a oracle card. Oracle card, an affirmation. On one side, it's going to say like a little quote, and then the back, it's like a mental exercise. You can journal it or you can work through it. So, I don't know. I like these. Oh, it said no, because it kind of wanted to fall, and then it stuck back into the pile. Hold on. That one liked it. And I like this one too. So it says, I just finished telling you. It's like changing your I am statements. It says, I am ready to receive what is meant for me. And there's a key and a door, in a door. And it says, why do I deserve good things? First question for yourself. Secondly, how can I become more open to receiving these good things? That's really important, because if you recall somewhere in the video, I was telling you how if your mindset is not right, it doesn't matter if the opportunity comes to you, you will reject it because you don't think you are deserving or the person correct for a position, even though other people can see it. So everything you experienced, even though it sucked, even though you think it's unfair, even though whatever, it was helping you realize how strong, courageous, like how much you're willing to do to become the person you're supposed to be, right? And I don't think February is going to be easy for you, but I do think it's going to open opportunities. And every single conflict that you experience, every single setback, things like that, it's really you fighting with the version of you that doesn't want you to become the new version of you, because the old version is comfortable, you know? So, I hope the person that needed to hear that understood the message that's coming through, because the reality is this is a spiritual channel, and I'm helping you through the channeled messages that I receive here of what you can do to become that person that you know you want to become. And I thank everybody that found value in it. I think the comments that you leave behind, the thumbs up and all that kind of stuff. And I hope to see you next month for another reading for your specific sign. Okay? I hope that helps.